Welcome to Successful Noom Kitchen with Jim John Marks, where we prepare recipes which encourage us to enjoy our meals more and set us up for long-term success with our relationship to the food we eat based on the principles of the Noom program. Today we're going to be talking about fish tacos and also talking about how to remain successful with your plan, your goals, and your budget, even under difficult circumstances. As you can see, this is not my usual kitchen. We are in temporary housing while we make our slow transition to living permanently in Chicago. This is a red onion that we're going to be turning into a day pickle. So you want to make the slices as thin as you can. For this, we're going to be putting them into a gentle acid and salt solution that we're only going to brine for maybe 1 hour, no more than 24 hours. And so you want to create as much surface area as you can so that the acid and salt work quickly. And again, never cut into that root ball there at the end. This is grapefruit juice, apple cider vinegar, and lime juice with some salt in it. And we're gonna break up these half moons into that. Let them marinate in this for at least 1 hour, if not 24. Afterward, you're gonna combine them with some shredded cabbage and some Mexican crema. This green paste here is pureed herbs that I've made, mostly oregano. It's basically a chimichurri without any oil added. It makes a very nice Baja style sauce for tacos. This is black pepper, Italian herb mix, and a Cajun blend. The Cajun blend has salt in it, about 7%. You want to make sure you avoid blends that have more than that, otherwise everything you make with them will be far too salty. And we're going to crust our fish with this and let it sit for maybe a half an hour to an hour, just to make sure that those flavors penetrate. These are some flounder fillets from flounder that we caught back in December, but of course you can simply buy fish at the store. Any flaky fish will do. You don't want to use oily fish for tacos. The texture just won't be right when you're done. I'm not using anything to make this stick. You don't need an egg wash. You don't need to do anything wild to get this to work. You just have to get your hands dirty. And once you've got this on there and you let it sit for a little while, the longer it sits, the better it'll stick. And then you won't have any problems and you don't have to add calories by improvising a binder to get your herbs onto your fish. These glass electric cooktops are terrible. They're basically for looking at and taking pictures of and not for cooking on. Normally with a fish like this, I would cook it very hot and very fast and try to crust those herbs on and get a little bit of a blackened approach, but that's really not feasible on a cooktop like this. So we're going to keep it on a very modest heat with some olive oil. The cast iron skillet is going to be for warming up our tortillas in a little while. As you can see, when I lay this fish down, the oil doesn't bubble at all. I'm keeping it on a very low heat for this. If your oil is hotter, you always want to lay things into oil from closest to you to away from you to ensure that you don't splatter yourself. When the oil begins to change color, you can flip the pieces over. Again, not my pan, not my cooktop, not my tools, so I'm not doing a very good job of flipping these over here, but dinner still ended up on the table and was perfectly delicious. You have to push through the circumstances that you find yourself in and don't allow them to become an excuse to just order out and eat junk and then give up on your plan. As you can see, I'm using that cast iron there to begin to warm up the tortillas that we have. To ensure that the fish is cooked all the way through, given that we're using such a low, slow cooking method, I'm going to put a lid on it. That's not even the right lid for the pan. It doesn't matter. It does the job. As you can see, it's keeping all that moisture in, and I let that fall back into the pan. These pieces are now thoroughly cooked. I'm going to plate them out, and you don't want to lose any of that liquid in the pan. That's not fat. I only used a very small amount of olive oil. That's mostly flavorful water that came out of the fish, and you don't want to give that up. You want to get that back onto the fish. And this is why you want to use flaky fish, because at this point you need to break this up in order to put it into your tacos. And if you've used an oily fish, this will be basically impossible. At this point, we're going to plate these into our tortillas. We've got two kinds here. We've got corn and the Mission brand plant power based, which are a green Noom product. And again, the great thing about something like fish tacos is you're controlling all your portioning. You can have the green tortillas if you need to. You can have a nice corn one if you've got the extra calories. You can put lots of crema into your relish if you have the calories for that, or you can leave most of it out if you need to. Most of your flavors coming from the fish itself and the herbs that were on it, and herbs don't cost you any calories. So you've got complete control of all the elements here, which is always a great way to ensure success throughout the day. Again, these Mission Protein Plant Power are green and the corn ones are not. And I had some extra calories this day, so I added pineapple puree to my taco, and it was delicious. Thank you for watching this episode of Successful Noom Kitchen with Jim John Marks. If you have questions about this episode, please comment and we will do our best to address your concerns. If you enjoyed this video, please consider clicking the thumbs up, and if you are interested in all our videos, please subscribe. All music in these episodes are my own compositions, available from my Bandcamp location, the URL for which is on the screen and in the channel info. Please note I am not associated with Noom Incorporated in any way, and all content is entirely my responsibility.